Ramuji, is it true that our religion once existed all over the world?
When our dharma existed, Mahatmas say that this completely was there all over the world. And the examples given in the book called Daivatin Kural or Voice of God are humongous. Let us start from the southernmost tip, which we call down under, you see, Australia. In Australia, there were the original inhabitants, they were called Aborigines. And they had a culture, they were in the central Australia, untouched by human civilization, or when I say human civilization, external human, they had their lovely civilization. You can't judge their civilization based on our color of what we think is civilization right now. Ancient civilizations were very well developed. There was humanity there. There was a sense of society. There was a sense of coming together. There was a sense of thanksgiving. They had a lovely civilization, you see. In Australia, these tribes during the month of December, they do a small dance as a community dance. And they gave a name to the dance. The name absolutely is something which is very surprising and shocking. The name of the dance is called Shiva dance. And the name was not given by others. It is their original name, which they have been practicing for millennia. And that name is Shiva dance. And Shiva, we all know, is our deity. But add this information, then you will know how much this Sanatana Dharma was widespread. The one who dances as Shiva wears a third eye in the forehead, it seems. Where was this? Down under. So many centuries back, they have been practicing it generation after generation after generation. And they actually did the Shiva dance sometime in December, it seems. And that is the time when we celebrate, during that time, what is called as Kamadahana Leela, where Shiva won over desires. And that is our Bhagavan Shiva. And they had it in their tribes. You see. That is the beauty of the reach and the ancientness and the ever-newness and the eternal nature of our Sanatana. Sanatana means eternal, timeless. Right? Now let us go to a nearby country called Thailand. During the time, again during the December-January time, they used to have a swing like this, you see. And they used to celebrate a festival. And now, still they celebrate this as a culture. The culture is stayed back. And they have an empty swing and they swing it. But do you know what is the name of that Utsava called? Tripavai Trivambave Utsava. You see. They call it Tripavai Trivambave because many of the Thailand names are all very Hindu names. If you see, they're all Sanskrita names, koncham mari irukku. And they call it Tripavai Trivambave. Now what happened? Earlier, they must have kept our Bhagavan's Vishnu and Bhagavan Lord Shiva in the same Unjal. They must have sung Tirupave and Tiruvambave, which are two devotional compositions which are very, very old, at least 1,000 years old, minimum 1,500 years old. And they used to do the Utsav. Over time, what happened? The religious aspect of it, because it's a little separated from the mainland, possibly it got degraded or they forgot it. But the externals remained. The Angam, no, auxiliaries, they remained. Main deity, gone, you see. Right? And if you go to Cambodia, you all know about this giant temple complex. Earlier, there was Vishnu there. Then there was Buddha there. Now there is nobody there. It is just a big temple complex in Cambodia. And now it has become a museum. People go there, take photos and do that. There was a temple which was thriving. And some parts of Cambodia, Vietnam, etc. had Sanskritam, it seems, as one of the official languages about 500, 600, 700 years back. Sanskrita. Then let's come back to India. There was this great Rishi called Patanjali Rishi. He taught us how to control our mind and find happiness, become divine. It's called Yoga Marga. And he showed us what Dhyanam means. This word Dhyanam means meditation. And this dhyanam was taken by many of the travelers who came from China to India. And there was a person, a great Mahatma called Bodhidharma, who actually took the dhyana to China. So dhyan became Chan there when it went there, because they couldn't pronounce it. So Chan. And the Chan went to Japan and it became Zen. Zen came from dhyan. And that is how it has slowly spread to Far East. If you go to places like Persia, etc., they have this religion called Zoroastrianism. Zen Davasthan. In that, they also do our Agni, Homam, etc. And they do it a little different. And many of their devas, whom they actually propitiate during this fire worship, have similarities towards Vedic mantras and Vedic deities. There was a king who wanted to, this was about 2000 years back, Ramses, no, a king, he wanted to make friendship with another king. They actually agreed to a friendship, if I'm not mistaken, in front of fire, and said, with the actual witness of Mitra and Varuna, let our friendship live forever. Possibly Egyptian and Persian kings and the area, Mesopotamian area. Mitra and Varuna are our deities, you see. And one of the Vedic mantras is Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha. And confirming friendship in front of these devas with a little Agni, etc., is Ramayana practice started by our Hanumanji. Between Sugriva and our Ramachandra Prabhu, Hanumanji said, both of you become friends now, Agni Shats. And Ramayana, we can find lot of some slokas which are missing in India. It was found in Java and other places. Ramayana was very well spread everywhere, you see. So Ramayana must have gone there now. If you go to Indonesia, their official airlines is called Garuda. They said, we like our culture. Garuda is part of our culture. Mahabharata is part of our culture. Ramayana is part of our culture. Ramayana, Mahabharata character names are very common. Their first name would be Arjun. And they will have very great names. More than Radha, Jambavati is very famous there. And there is an island called Bali, where about 90% of them practice Hinduism. And Amrita Matanam Irukkupathela, that is their deity in a Yoga Shastra. So if you go to a Balinese temple, you will find Amrita Madana principle, where there will be Vasuki, there will be Meru, and they are worshipping that. Thailand airport has Amrita Madanam in their airport. Devas and Asuras churning. Amrita Madanam, churning for the Milky Ocean for Amrita, nectar. And then you come to America. This was the greatest joy of my life. Once in Florida, in Orlando, we were doing lectures in that Orlando temple, Castleberry temple. And Bhagavatam was going on. A Native American person who was interested in Hinduism also came, listened to Bhagavatam. And then he caught me outside and said, the Krishna which you are talking about, do you know? We Native Americans have a deity. Your Krishna already has come to our Native America long back, even before anybody came. Even before Columbus came, Krishna had come there. How? He said, there is a deity called Kokopelli, and he also has the leg interchange. He also plays the flute, and the flute gets. And he also wears feathers on his head. He is also the god of abundance. He is also actually a person who rears all these cows, sheep, etc. Gopalana, Kokopelli. And the Kokopelli, Bhagavan Sri Krishna. If you go to Arizona, Florida and all that, you will find Kokopelli everywhere. It is Krishna. But whatever they understood Krishna, they are worshipping there. And everywhere it is like that. And that is the beauty of our Sanatana Dharma and Samskritam. If you go a little Latin American, there are two major ancient civilizations. Mayan civilization. Maya, that is a Sanskrit religious term. That is the power of Bhagavan. Maya is the power which creates. And the next civilization was called Astika civilization. and we call it as Aztec, Hastikam, which means we believe in divinity. And the Aztec civilization, that's become Aztec. And more you dig, you will actually find, because this is what we believe. Okay, that Sanatana Dharma was Dharma everywhere. We come from such a great religion, from a great Dharma, which was all prevalent.
I am amazed that for millennia, our Sanatana Dharma was so widespread that the entire world followed traditions and beliefs that can be traced to our ancient scriptures and languages. Feeling really happy that we come from such a great religion that was all prevalent.